Picture this. You've done it. You finally polished your resume, went through the grueling interview rounds, and landed that new job. Hey! Then you walk into your manager's office. You hand in your 2 weeks' notice, and suddenly panic sets in. But not for you, for them. Within 24 hours, you're pulled into a meeting with your manager in HR. They tell you how much they value you. They tell you they can't lose you. And then they slide a piece of paper across the desk, a counter offer for $10,000 more to stay. In that moment, you feel powerful. You feel validated. You might even think, wow, they really do appreciate me. But today, we're pulling back the HR curtain on that exact moment because accepting that counteroffer is statistically one of the biggest career mistakes you can make. I'm going to tell you exactly what HR and leadership say about you the second you walk out of that room with your new raise. Let's get into it. Here's a statistic that corporate America doesn't want you to think about. Roughly 80% of employees who accept a counteroffer end up leaving the company within 6 to 12 months anyway. And why is that? Because the core issues that made you look for a new job, the toxic boss, the burnout, the lack of growth, or the lack of budget for the raise you originally asked for. None of that magically disappeared because your paycheck got a little heavier. But let's look at this from the other side of the desk. Let's talk about why your company really offered you that money. When you resign, it creates an immediate operational crisis. Projects are going to stall. Client relationships might be at risk. Your manager is going to have to pick up your slack, and HR is going to have to spend the next 2 months interviewing replacements. When leadership suddenly finds the budget to match your new offer, it is rarely an awakening of your value. It's their oh shit moment. It's a band-aid. They're simply doing the math. It's cheaper and easier to pay you an extra $10,000 right now than it is to lose momentum, pay recruiting or turnover costs, and train someone from scratch. Here's what HR is actually saying behind closed doors when they approve your counteroffer. They think, we just bought ourselves 3 to 6 months to find the replacement on our terms instead of having to scramble right now. If you accept the counteroffer and stay, you step into a new reality. I call it the trust tax. Before you resigned, you were a dedicated team member. But the second you handed in that letter, your label changed in the minds of leadership and HR. You are now a flight risk. And that label comes with consequences you won't see on your new compensation statement. You will be passed over for promotions. Why would leadership invest in grooming you for the next level when they know you already have one foot out the door? You lose your leverage. You played your biggest card. You can't resign again in 6 months and expect them to beg you to stay twice. And unfortunately, you're probably at the top of the list for layoffs. If the company needs to make budget cuts in the next quarter, the quote-unquote disloyal employee who forced their hand to a raise often is the first one on the chopping block. Now, these are not always the case, but FYI, there's some things going against you right now. Here's the hard truth. If you are ever sitting in that room looking at a counteroffer, I want you to ask yourself one question. If I was worth this much to the company yesterday, why did it take me quitting for them to pay me for it? The answer is they were perfectly happy underpaying you as long as you were willing to accept it. Here's what you need to do. If you resign and they come back with more money or a shiny new title, here's exactly how you handle it like a professional who knows their worth. Number one, say thank you, but stand firm. Do not let your ego make your career decisions. You can say something like, I really appreciate the generous offer and how much you value my work here. However, I've made my decision to move on and I'm focused on making this transition as smooth as possible for the team. Number two, remember why you started looking in the first place. Money fixes a compensation problem, but it does not fix a bad culture, a lack of resources, or a manager who doesn't respect your boundaries. And it also makes you potentially ineligible for future raises. They will most likely reference this raise to offset any other potential increases. That's that trust tax in play. Number three, leave on your own terms. Take the new job. Go somewhere that sees your value on day one, not just the day you threaten to leave. Sometimes it takes leaving a company to really open their eyes to your true worth. I've seen lots of professionals leave companies and come back because their worth was finally noticed. Their absence made a huge impact and they finally see it. Then, if you go back, you're in a great bargaining position, and it might be an even better workplace and an even better career move for you. So, the final thought, a counteroffer is flattering. It feels like a win, but behind the HR curtain, it's just a business continuity plan. When you decide to leave, leave. Keep moving forward and don't let their temporary panic band-aid compromise your future. If you've ever been tempted by a counteroffer or you know someone who is weighing one right now, share this episode with them before they sign on the dotted line. This has been another Behind the HR Curtain mini-sode from the Industrially Organized podcast. And here we stop guessing what management is thinking and start making moves that actually serve us. I'm Nicole, and as always, stay focused, build your strategy, and create your own version of success. I'll see you in the next one.